Well, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta officially opened the high-level segment of the 3rd United Nations Environment Assembly on pollution in Nairobi. Key guests this year included China's Environment Minister Li Gangjie, former Indian and US astronauts Rakesh Sharma and Mae Jemison, as well as NASA's Chief Climate Scientist Paul Newman. CGTN's Robert Nagila has that report.
Over 4,000 delegates, among them heads of state, business leaders and members of the civil society, are attending the 3rd UNEA Assembly at the United Nations Environmental Programme headquarters in Nairobi. The summit's theme is Towards a Pollution-Free Planet and seeks a concerted global effort to tackle pollution. Kenya's president says the time to act is now.
We have learned an expensive lesson. Unless our environmental riches are protected by all, there can be no lasting prosperity for any of us.
Leaders called for a collective effort and sustained campaign to fight pollution.
Now is not the time to walk backwards. We therefore must act responsibly and recognize the importance of interdependence, of multilateralism, of collective action, and embrace fully the cardinal principle of intergenerational and intragenerational equity in order to combat pollution.
There must be information, education, and communications extended through a sustained campaign aimed at raising awareness of the urgency of eliminating pollution at the level of citizens, households, community, and among all countries.
Some countries have already taken stringent steps to reduce pollution. China says measures already in place will see a fundamental reduction in pollution in its cities by 2020.
The Chinese President Xi Jinping has drawn up an inspiring blueprint for ecological and environmental protection at the 19th Party Congress of the Communist Party of China held last October. By 2020, we will win the battle against pollution by taking tough measures. By 2035, there will be fundamental improvement in the environment.
The UN is calling for concerted global action on pollution and other challenges by tackling unsustainable resource use and engaging the private sector in other measures. The conference ends on Wednesday. Robert Nagila, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
Well, indeed, an eventful day at the UN Environment Assembly. And to tell us all about it, I'm now joined by CGTN's Robert Nagila from the UNEP headquarters here in Nairobi. Robert, let's just start with some of the most recent events. We know that barely about an hour ago, the UN announced the 2017 Champions of the Earth, 3 of them Chinese activists. Tell us more about the awards.
Oh, thank you very much, Lindy. Just before we get into that, I must tell you that that event is just about to kick off. There's a gala night here in honor of those who won the Champion of the Earth award. Now, this particular award was launched in 2005. It's the highest honor of United Nations Environment honor that one can receive. Now, it recognizes individuals or groups that have had a massive and positive impact and effect on the environment. And China's won big this time around. I mean, the effort of those individuals and what they have done, reclaiming forests, reclaiming deserts, it's a huge, huge task, and one cannot overstate just how much they put into this. And talking to very many people here, everybody's in agreement that they do deserve that award. And hopefully that this will also encourage other people, other environmentalists to go out there, not in their countries, in their homes, and do much, much more in reclaiming their environment. Lindy?
Well, indeed, it looks like a very special and glamorous night setting up there at the UNEP headquarters. But indeed, the less glamorous work of policy discussions and framework discussions has been going on today. Tell us about some of the significant issues that have been on the day's agenda.
Absolutely, Lindy. Now, this particular conference is all about fighting pollution, pollution on land, pollution in the oceans, pollution in the air as well. Now, there are three particular elements that this summit is focusing on, because they believe that if they can get these elements right, then they'll be able to tackle pollution very, very quickly, as not like we've seen in the past. Now, one of these elements is policy making, the other is funding, and of course you've got leadership and dialogue. Now, when it comes to funding, of course they are looking at how to raise funds to tackle pollution, and then how to allocate those funds, of course. Now, of course, you know that there are various groups, each believing that there are certain areas that perhaps are more significant and need more focus than others. So those are some of the things that would have been going on in the background. But perhaps the most important of them all would have been policies, because they need to align all the policies along all the member states so that they are all in agreement and in line, so that when it comes to approaching how to tackle pollution, everybody's reading from the same page. Now, in terms of what has been agreed upon, we expect the closing ceremony to be tomorrow, that is Wednesday, at about 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and then we expect a final press briefing in which we expect to hear as to what resolutions have been adopted in terms of tackling pollution. So Wednesday will actually be the big day, in spite of the fact that Tuesday was the opening ceremony and we've got this gala night which is ongoing as we speak. Lindy?
Well, I hope you find some time to enjoy the gala night, Robert. Thank you very much. We'll be looking forward to those final updates tomorrow.